Hello everyone and welcome back to some more K-pop news. In today's video, I have news on how ADOR has now filed a really big lawsuit against Danielle of New Jeans. Also, I have news on how a big report has now come out saying that K-pop company named 100 has not paid any of their groups at all, and also a whole lot of news like that as well. So with all that being said, let's get straight right into the video right now. In my last video, I talked about and said on how Dor had kicked out Danielle of New Jeans and on how they had also filed a lawsuit against her, her family, and against former CEO named Jin, but I never talked about and said on how much their lawsuit is going to be against her, but it seems that we have our answer to that question because this morning it was announced that Adore has now filed a lawsuit that is worth about 43.1 billion won against Danielle, and this lawsuit worth is estimated to be about $29.8 billion inside of the USA. And it was also reported that in response to the really big lawsuit that they have now filed against her, Danielle has now reportedly appointed a legal representative and has now submitted a bunch of documents to the court in response to Ador's really big lawsuit that they have now filed towards her. And finally, it was announced that Adore did not even bother to tell any of the members of New Jeans and any of the members who are still in talks with them to come back to the group that Danielle had been kicked out of the group this past week. Now look, here's my thoughts about this news right here. First off, I'm still so mad at Adore for not even telling the members of New Jeans that Danielle had been kicked out because, like, can you imagine on how confused, sad, and on how mad the members of New Jeans is going to be once they find out that Danielle has been kicked out? Man, if I was one of the members of New Jeans and if I found out that Danielle had been kicked out, man, like I would be so mad about that. Like I would not even know what to do. Also, on top of that, regarding the lawsuit that they have now filed against Danielle, here's my honest thoughts about that. First off, like I'm still so confused on why Adore had kicked out Danielle, and the reason on why I said that is because after they had kicked her out, Adore never gave the exact reason on why they kicked her out, and so because that, I'm still so confused about that. And also, I have two reasons on why I believe that they have now filed this lawsuit against her, and here's my reasons about that. First off, I believe the reason on why they have not filed this lawsuit against her is because either they wanted to show that as a company that they have a lot of power, and by this power that they can get away from doing all these types of things, such as by kicking out Danielle from New Jeans, and also on top of that, I believe that this company hit her out and filed this lawsuit against her because this company is so greedy, and the reason is because I believe that by kicking her out, this company wants to make sure that this group also stays divided, and that this company wants to make sure that by kicking her out, that they can add another member to this group, and by adding this new member into this group, that they want to make sure that their sales does go up, and that they are trying to make sure that their album sales is going to go up because they are trying to make sure that a lot of people is still informed about this group and is now informed about this group by adding a bunch of members into this group. But let me know down in the comment section down below. Are you also mad to hear and see that Adore still kicked out Danielle? And are you also mad and sad to see that Adore never told the members of New Jeans that Danielle had been kicked out or not? For the next news that I have for you today, last night, K-pop news company named The Fact has now reported that K-pop company named 100 has not paid any of their artists at all. And the reason why I said that is because it says right here that according to The Fact, K-pop company named 100 artists such as The Boys, Baekhyun, and Jimin are facing unpaid settlements of 1 billion Korean won each, while Shan and Jumin are reportedly owed hundreds of millions of Korean won as the company has not failed to pay them. And in response to this, hip hop company named 100 has now put out their own statement about this, and in their statement, this is what they said. The unpaid settlement issue mentioned in the article is an ongoing matter being normally negotiated and adjusted according to the contract terms and activities of each artist. The report by the fact differs from the facts, and we find it very regrettable that it was reported without fact checking or ensuring our right to provide a counter argument. Now look, here's my thoughts about this news right here. Since this report is still in the early stages of the news, for me, I'm just going to have to wait and see what the artists have to say about this. But let's say that if this is true, and let's say if this company did not pay any of their groups at all, then man, I'm going to be so mad about that, because how can you not pay any of these groups for working for so hard and for working for however long and for working for how many years that these groups have all been working for? Because man, that is so bad to me, and man, that makes no sense to me, because that means that at the end of the day, that all these groups have been working for free, and for me, for somebody who does not like working for free, man, I'm going to be so mad about that. But let me know down in the comment section below also, do you think that this company paid their artists or not? Now, I have a couple of good news for you, starting off with this news right here announcing that SIYEON from the K-pop girl group named DREAMCATCHER is now going to be making her K-pop return inside of a co-ed rock band group called CH Rock Takao, and that this group is going to be debuting this month on January 15th of this year. It was also announced that inside of this new co-ed rock band K-pop group that is coming out, there is going to become 4 members inside of it, and the names of these 4 members is SIYEON, who is the main vocalist, Lee Jun-young, who is the bassist, Lee Won-hoo, who is going to become the drummer, and finally Lee Won-suk, who is the producer and who is also going to become the guitarist for this group. I'm so excited for this new co-ed rock band group that is coming out, because I'm a huge fan of K-pop bands that are still active inside K-pop, such as QW, ER, and so because of that, I'm so excited to hear their K-pop debut album when it does come out in about 2 weeks from today. For the final news that I have for you today is that it was finally announced that BTS is going to be coming back as a full group on March 20th of this year. Now look, for me, as a fan of BTS and as a fan of all the songs that they have now released so far, I'm so excited to hear all of their new songs on their new album that is going to be coming out in about 3 months from today. But thank you so much as always for watching my K-pop news video, and don't forget to like, comment, and to also subscribe down below for more K-pop news like this one. Anyways, that's it for today, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!